Alright, let's continue on our discussion. So, we've just finished discussing two very important and two very prominent Impressionist painters in the form of Claude Monet and in the form of Vincent van Gogh. So, now we're going to look at how the concept of Impressionism applies to the art form known as sculpture or to 3D modeling or etc. So, Impressionism, of course, as we all know, is a little bit blurry to define. Impressionism for painting might be different compared to Impressionism for the sculptures. But at the essence of it all, Impressionism can basically be summarized as a means of just eschewing the details of a certain art and just focusing on getting the impression of the art itself. Again, you're not going to capture reality here 100%, but rather to just give you enough to give you enough artwork to give you the impression behind the intended meaning of the artist. And one of our most prominent artists of the Impressionist sculptures artist, is Auguste Rodin. Again, born at the same time as Claude Monet, he was Francois Auguste René Robin. Anyway, so medyo mahirap natin malaman kung saan ba yung line between realism going towards Impressionism. Because if you look at your Impressionistic sculptures, parang wala siya masyadong pinagkaiba doon sa sabihin natin realistic statue ng Statue of David or doon sa Venus de Milo. But if you look at it closer, you can see here that the detail is not as expressed compared to the realistic art style. Hindi pa siya ganoon ka exact. So it's still in a transitionary period in the time of Rodin. So another famous artwork by Rodin, this one is The Shade. And here medyo nakita niyo na yung pagka-impressionistic style in this sculpture. It's not no longer meant to capture the image 100%, but to give you the impression of the artwork. In, for example, the posture of this character, in the way that the body is inclined, or even in the amount of detail and in the amount of information that you can get from this sculpture. Another one, this one is The Kiss. Iba yan sa The Kiss ni Gustav Klimt. This one was made by Rodin. At if you observe, dahan-dahan, pawala ng pawala yung detail na kanyang nalagay doon sa kanyang mga sculptures. And once again, just like Claude Monet, it's in a slow transitionary period. Dahan-dahan nag-a-adjust yung kanyang style. So sa Impressionism, again, nawawala yung detalye. The more impressionistic it becomes. The details are gone, pero handun pa rin yung main features ng iyong art form. Perhaps the most important or most well-known artwork by Rodin is this one, known as The Thinker. Have you seen this before? I'm sure you have.
MAPUA.
Alright. Yeah, sa MAPUA. No, sa MAPUA, yung style natin. Alright. And you can see that this is considered, of course, a finished product. Hindi siya ganun ka-detailed. And if you look at, for example, the legs or the forearm, the torso, medyo rough pa yung kanyang mga edges. Hindi siya mga clearly defined na talagang finalish using sandpaper. So that's an example of an impressionistic style in sculptures. But, again, Rodin is borderline. Hindi pa siya completely impressionistic, pero most likely siya ay nasa gitna ng realism at impressionism. His students, Medardo Rosso, ito yung sinatawag kong mas impressionistic sculptor. Now, granted, hindi siya kasing sikat ni Rodin, and I won't say that hindi na siya ganun galing ni Rodin, pero siya yung mas impressionistic gumawa ng sculptures compared kay Rodin. And he's the one, of course, who talagang nagbigay ng impressionistic styles ng mga statues. So, sa halimbawa ng gawa ni Medardo Rosso, most of which by the way are commissioned by the Vatican Church, this one is IS203. Question, how many faces do you see? Alright, there are two faces there in that sculpture. You can see, for example, this very creepy, though not intentionally creepy, this creepy statue of a baby, and at the same time we have this mother cradling that child. That's Aetas Aurea. Another one. This one is infant and sen. Once again, how many faces do you see? Alright, also 2. You can see, for example, this one, there's a head here, and you can see that there's a father over there. As far as Impressionism goes, this one is considered a finished product. Hindi siya work in progress, tapos na yan. And just like sa Impressionistic paintings na meron parang slow maliit na brush strokes, you can see how that is applied in the sculptures made by Rosso. Another one. This one is very easy. You can see the face, I'm sure. You can see the face facing towards the head. You can see the lips. You can see the head. And again, yung eyes, medyo... sige, question. Is the eyes open or not? The correct answer is it doesn't matter. The important thing that we need to get to this painting is that though it is incomplete, you already get the impression that there is a facial figure in this sculpture. It's Eke Puer. Another one. This one, of course, looks like that the figure is melting alongside the chair in which he is sitting. This one is Sick Man is Hospital. This one was commissioned by the Vatican government. So again, medyo nakita nyo na, ito na yung medyo mas impressionistic na style. And that just goes to show how broad these trends really are when it comes to art. Alright, this one is the concierge. And you can see the face once again. It's almost as if this face is trying to come out of the rock from which it was made. And once again, this is considered a finished product. Hindi na siya pinalish gamit ng sandpaper. And this one is considered, well, one of his more famous works, although not really that famous. Alright, and last one. This one is Madame Noble. Can you see the face?
Yes.
Alright, medyo mahirap pa. Medyo meron kang makitang ilong dito, smile, meron kang makitang mataron. Sir, is that really a statue? Is that a rock that he found? The mukha lang merong mukha. Well, again, don't know, but you know that this was credited to him and made by him, apparently. Siguro, onting lang, changes lang. Pero again, the fact that you get the impression of the face is enough for you to know that the art style is Impressionism. Alright, so that is Impressionism in sculptures. Alright, last one. Here we now go towards architecture. Now, medyo mahirap yan. Sa painting, meron na kayong idea. Sculptures, meron na kayong idea, pero medyo hirap pa rin. So now, here we go to the harder one. We have architecture because now yung style ay again nagko-conflict doon sa function mismo ng building. But one of the most famous impressionistic building of all time is none other than the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. Now, the Eiffel Tower was made in 1889 just to showcase it during the World Fair. Surprisingly, this was only made to last for 100 years or maybe half of that, tapos yun i-collapse na. But it turns out it's sturdier than what they perceived it to be, and it now became one of the most, acknowledged monument of France. And this building is impressionistic in style. It does not serve any function. What impression it's giving you is up to you. But again, wala siyang talagang pinoportray na reality. It's not meant to reflect or to capture anything. Perhaps this Eiffel Tower is giving you the impression of a mountain. Or it's giving you the impression of, what else? What kind of impression is it giving you? Although, not joking, although some philosophers and some theories would suggest that the Eiffel Tower is a impression of the human male penis for some reason. Because of how it's erect and how it's pointing upwards and how it's phallic in its symbol. Pero again, that's just hypothesis lang. That was never made. That was not the intention of Gustave Eiffel. And of course, more pictures of the Eiffel Tower. Another one. Yeah, meron kayo siya. Yes.
Alam mo ba picture ng Eiffel Tower?
Right, correct. Bawal picture ng Eiffel Tower pag gabi, pag gagamitin mo for commercial purposes. Because, pag bibenta mo, hindi pwede. Because yung copyright ng building is 150 years, hindi pa siya nag-expire, so ano pa rin yung copyright ng architecture. So, pwede mong picturean, basta huwag mo ibenta. Because at that time, pwede kang infringe. Oh, yeah, merong lights at nagbabago-bago yung lights yun, depende sa world events. Pag merong school shooting, pag merong terrorist attack, nagbabago-bago. Alright. And yeah, Eiffel Tower was the best place to, bring a girl over. Best dating spots. Trivia, guys, if you kneel, or pag nagsintas kayo ng sapatos, habang kasama mo yung girlfriend mo sa Eiffel Tower, iiyak sila for some reason. Alright. Another impressionistic architectural building, here we have the Brooklyn Bridge. Connecting Brooklyn and Manhattan, 1,600 overall feet in span, and it was made during 1869 and was finished during 1883. Until now, this is still a standing building. From here, you can see, sir, what's so special about this building? And you might think that because, unang-una, number one, you've seen it several times in films and movies, there's nothing special about it anymore. And pangalawa, you might not be seeing the best angle that the Brooklyn Bridge was made into. Because this is what the Brooklyn Bridge looks like from the inside. Sa labas, medyo pangits. Pero pag meron kang view mula sa loob, makita mo medyo maganda yung kanyang style compared to the other bridges. Talagang meron ding aesthetic na ginawa doon sa architecture. And that aesthetic is, of course, Impressionism. Another point of view. Alright, this one, once again, of the Brooklyn Bridge. It's one of the most treasured monuments and buildings of America, and of course, one of the most iconic when you see it in the movies and films. Alright, so that's it for architecture. Literature, si George Bernard Shaw. Alright, I think that's it for now. Yeah, meron pa akong handout, so that's it muna tayo. Questions? Alright, kung wala ng questions, that's our lesson for this meeting.